All right. Let's see. Is it going to let me do this? No, it won't let me do that. Okay. So, we're learning. We're learning. Let's see. Let's bring this in a little bit. That's a bummer. I was hoping it was going to work to come on thing. I'm not a good at talking and doing things at the same time. Just not. So yeah. We want to turn this. There we go. A little bit. There we go. Okay. Right. Well, kind of like that. Okay. Hopefully this is working. Welcome to the channel. My name's AJ. This is Simmerwell. We're taking a day off to do some stuff in the kitchen. And I have chicken thighs that are for our personal family that we're making into breakfast sausage. And so with that, we're just going to do it down here because we have this wonderful facility. Our HVAC system lives right up here, and it is wintertime. And I installed it very quickly and need to finish a couple things. So we had to pull that cover off. You can see right there, which entailed pulling that ceiling panel out. So we're not cooking for Simmerwell today. We're cooking for our family. So our shirt of the day is the Special Operations Equipment Mystery 9 shirt. You can't get this one anymore. That's what the back looks like. It's Ruby Riffic. Little Scooby-Doo riff there. So we're going to put on our, wow, it's going to be a long one. We're going to put on our apron and pull some chicken out and get going with this right now. So I hope everybody's having a good day today. Chicken sausage. So why chicken sausage, AJ? Well, chicken sausage because we recently started following Torah and we don't eat pork anymore. And while we're chatting here, I have my laptop and I'm going to pull up the stream on my laptop so that I can see comments bigger if and when everybody starts showing up. Hey, look, I'm live and there's 11 people watching. That's fantastic. So, right there. So, live chat. And hello. Hopefully, streaming and downloading on the Starlink isn't going to cause an issue today. Let's see. We are making chicken sausage because we don't eat pork anymore. And so, since we do freeze-dried meals, as well as bone broth in our kitchen, we're doing a little R&D on some new chicken broth or chicken sausage. Let's see. What's the time? Like, what time is it? It's 11:30 in the morning in Montana. Let's see. That corner out. Perfect. Okay, so we have a 1 3/4 horsepower Cabela's commercial meat grinder. This is what we use for all of our projects like this. As you can see, it's got a pretty massive throat there. So, and then same thing up here. So about 2.5 inches wide, which means we can put whole chicken thighs right in and not have to really worry about it. So we've got 2 die plates. This one is about 1/4 inch around, and that's going to be our first grind. Just going to line up the notch in here. Just like that. Let's see. We're making chicken breakfast sausage using chicken thighs. There's no, it's not plugged in. So we just got some big bowls here, and someone who is safe. My fingers are pretty valuable to me, so yeah, I don't really want to lose that. Hey, can you grab me that extension cord and plug it in there? But I was being so safe, I forgot to grab an extension cord, so we're getting one right now. And yeah, so I have made my own pork breakfast sausage for the past 20 years. And whether it be growing my own pork or just using store-bought, we grind our own. We grind the meat, mix the sausage, we vacuum pack it, everything. So I mean, it works out pretty good. Does it save a lot of money? No. Is it way better than anything you can buy at a store? Absolutely. So I had to move my laptop over here so I can read the comments, because you guys are about 8 feet that way and I'm kind of blind. So we're in our commercial kitchen facility. We make freeze-dried bone broth and freeze-dried meals professionally. And because of that, we have this commercial kitchen. And yes, you folks that are watching are going to see that there's a ceiling tile missing right here. We're actually closed today. I'm working on personal stuff for our house. And we've got some HVAC work going on, and we needed access to this guy right here, which meant we had to pull the ceiling tile. So we're not making food for anybody else. Just wanted to clarify that. So in the walk-in cooler, on this pan rack, we have 2 6-inch pans with chicken thighs on it. So we're just going to go ahead and start our grinding through. We always start with a coarse grind, and then kind of, I like to do a coarse grind and then mix the seasoning, and then we'll actually add ice back into it and we'll grind it through again, and that'll be our packaging. That'll be how it's packaged. So let me go ahead and fire this guy up. It's been a minute. There it is. So hopefully that's not too loud in the microphone. So these are, we're just using a boneless, skinless chicken thigh that we got at the Restaurant Supply in a 40-pound box. And we're just going to feed it through in here. Comes in a 40-pound bulk box. It was about $1.60 a pound that way. And this grinder, if you've ever ground meat before using like a KitchenAid mixer or a smaller grinder, they can take some time. This is going to plow through this meat really fast, which is why I have all of the meat out right now, and I didn't just pull one of them, because we'll be through this here in about 3 or 4 minutes. Typically when we're doing pork or beef, we've got 2 people that are cutting and trimming to every 1 person that is that's feeding the grinder. So it goes really quick. Cool. All right, change this glove out real quick. Where's everybody watching from today? So feed through pretty fast. You can see here in the bowl, it's going pretty quick. And I've only got maybe 3 pounds left. So we'll just keep moving it around a little bit, trying to not to make too much of a mess. Again, so much more convenient than doing this at home. Keep that in there. And just a couple more little pieces. And just like that, you can see we got all the way through that 25 pounds. Now, the live says that we started 11 minutes ago. So in 11 minutes, you watched me talk about this awesome SOE shirt that I'm wearing. And we also put the grinder together. And I grabbed all this stuff out of the fridge. And now we're on our second bin. Super quick if you're going to do any sort of volume. Definitely the way to go. So today's sausage is a little bit more of a breakfasty sausage. It's got some sage and stuff in it. I'm not going to go over the exact recipe just because, well, proprietary and I don't want to. But so it's not a sweet it's not a sweet like a molasses or a maple sausage. That's going to be the next one we go with. This is just our tried and true. I got one kid that when we were making this out of pork would eat 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds of this in a sitting. So hopefully it will turn out good. I have never used this for chicken yet. So, and I keep looking over here because I have my laptop set up so I can actually read the comments, because you guys are a little bit too far away for me to read the comments. So 80 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, bones cut out, no skin, that we purchased from the restaurant supply store. Would it be awesome if this was home raised? Absolutely. I don't raise chickens. And we just kind of decided that we were going to do, well, we don't eat pork anymore. So I needed to make breakfast sausage. Hey, Kiri! It's Kiri. So I actually gave Kiri a bunch of my breakfast sausage that we don't eat anymore. So yeah, now we're in adapt recipe to chicken mode, because I'm not too big on turkey. And just like that, we are 15 minutes in, and we're through almost 80 pounds of chicken thighs. So we'll let this run through. We don't have to be super diligent about getting all of the chicken out of here, just for the simple reason that we're going to do a second grind on it. And so whatever's left in here will be all right. Because when we start putting the next batch in, I'm going to run some ice through to clear it. I just don't want all the ice to potentially melt. So we're going to leave this. Let's see. I'm going to take these gloves off. I don't want to get raw chicken on everything. And gloves are cheap, so whatever's not contaminated, we'll try to keep not contaminated. So I have a clean sheet pan here from my bakery rack, and we're just going to pull this off of here, or slide this out of here. Then we're going to take this and go onto the rack. Then we're going to go back in the walk-in. Is anybody on? Can you tell me, is the audio still working? Is anybody on? Can you tell me, is the audio still working? I can hear it on my end. We're good to go. So I'm going to wander over here, grab the next thing we're going to use. So this is a mixer. It's got paddles in here. The grinder turns it, and it's going to mix all of the seasoning in so that I don't have to do it by hand. Now, if I was doing 5, 10, it takes a lot for me to get this out because it makes a mess, and it works really well, but it's just another thing to clean. So we're doing a batch of 80 pounds. I can be okay with that, though. So get that all squared away. Give this a shot. Make sure it's going to work well before we proceed. And we're not going to stick our hand in here because it'll get cut off. Let's see. Thanks, Carrie. So the beautiful thing about this, I can't show you because it's vertical, and I don't want to touch and contaminate things. But it turns on and goes one way, and then there's a button. If you twist it the other way and hold it, it will spin it backwards so that you can reverse it and reincorporate and make everything super happy. So we've got our pre-measured spice blend there. And we're just going to take and try not to make a mess. And you're going to make a mess, especially if your name's AJ. You're going to make a big mess. But we're always trying to not make a mess. I have the luck, and it's just an observation that has been made of myself and by myself and of myself for a lot of years, of no matter how hard I try to keep everything clean and make it nice, I always make a mess. So we're just going to try. So coarse ground. In we go. And what I probably should be doing is a small batch. Really what I probably should be doing is a small batch. And then figure out if I like the flavor mixture and go from there. I don't have time for that. My kids are going to eat this. Teenage boys, preteen boys, and a 5-year-old, like there's no holding them back. They're not going to care if it's a little subpar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this guy on, and we're tumbling. And now we're just going to slowly and gently do that. Let's see. There's that. There we go. And when I first started doing breakfast sausage, I always had the misthought of like, oh, it's not got enough spice in it. Because when I season a steak, I call it salting the sidewalk, which means you're like covering that thing and plastering it. Breakfast sausage, not so much. So we're gonna just sit here and let this run for a few minutes. And while it's running, and save our bowl that we're gonna grind back into. Clean hand. We have a bit of ice here. Store-bought ice. Broken up in a tub. And I'm going to contaminate the ice just here. We're just going to throw it in. Now this ice was, I don't know, a couple bucks. But when we continually mix it like this, we build heat. And heat is the enemy when we're making sausage because we want the heat, we want to keep it nice and cold. We don't want to add any heat to it because of bacteria, especially because we're going to package this up and eat off it for the next several months. So while I got a clean hand here, I'm going to grab this. And this is what we got going on. Not overloaded with ice. With the chicken, you can't hardly see the, get that set back down right. You can't hardly see the seasoning in there. But, yeah, simple, easy process. You could do this at home, and if you did it at home, you don't need to add the ice to it right now. I would recommend adding the ice to it when you're grinding it, 100%. If you're using a KitchenAid, which the very first couple batches I did was with that little plastic grinder on the KitchenAid. It works. It does not work great. You have to use like super fine mashed up ice with that. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting shards of ice that are coming out and you're not getting a real mix. So I like to kind of let this go for about 5 minutes. I probably should have set a timer, but I didn't. We're going to go ahead and shut this off. Now that it's stopped and our hand is still out, we're going to run it backwards for a minute. because there's fins in here that are helping to cause it to have to mix, but it kind of catches up underneath them a little bit. So we're gonna run it backwards a minute. It's smelling like breakfast sausage, which is always good. Like so, and then we're gonna run it regular again. Hey, Karita. Yeah, thanks for coming, and thanks for Kiri sharing the link. I tried to share the link, but it made me go live first, and it didn't. Yeah. So anyway, Kiri's pretty awesome. She's the best. Super inspiration. So this is run probably about as much as I want it to. So we're gonna run it backwards. All right, move this ice out of the way. The best part about doing this down here in my commercial kitchen is all of the flat spaces. So unplugged, no power, sticking my hand in here. So Kiri, I'm pretty sure I can make chicken chorizo. That's on one of my next list of things to do. And I figured that comment was coming from you. So I'm hoping that we can have this breakfast sausage. I want to do a sweet breakfast sausage next, and then chorizo, so that we have 3 nice protein-packed breakfasts that we can do for our freeze-dried meals. I've had a couple people reach out to me since we started and inquire about a 1 year worth of food. And you know what? While that's a lofty goal for us and we could do it, I want to have a nice variety, because I've looked on a couple websites for businesses that make freeze-dried food, and you get an awful lot of a few different types of breakfasts, and you get like a couple, your selection's not great. And really, if you're going to do a year worth, you really ought to have a really nice selection. Now, that's not for most people, but also it's nice to have a nice variety. So maybe chorizo will be next. Maybe we'll do chorizo second and hold off on the sweet one. My favorite is actually the sweet breakfast sausage that I make. This one's a really close second. But hey, we got both Jose and Karita. We got a group today. I don't have any splatter print today though, so we I need to have John make a splatter print apron for Sarah. For those of you that may be watching that don't know what I'm talking about, John Willis from Special Operations Equipment, good friend of mine, the guy that made the shirt that we're wearing today. He makes nylon tactical gear, also lifestyle gear, and that ends up being the thing that we use most is the lifestyle gear. So splatter print apron, yeah. Now, the bad part about using this guy is, yeah, Jose, I think you need a splatter print apron for grilling, man. So I don't know how well you can see in there, but there's a lot of grooves and just a lot going on. And so it takes a few minutes of just digging. Now, we're doing multiple batches, which is the beautiful thing. Let's see. Let's see. The nice thing about doing multiple batches and in bulk is I don't have to clean this thing out super great between every batch because we're using the same seasoning. You know, it's chicken. It's out of the same lot of chicken. We don't have to worry about cross-contamination or anything. But what I really want to do is I want to make sure that we're getting a good chunk of it out because I don't want to have the mixer overloaded. It holds 25 pounds of meat really well, which is what my batch is typically done for. So that's good. We'll call that good. This is what we're looking like now. Nice and kind of homogeneous. Full kit coming in splatter. Jose, tell me about this full kit. Are we talking like like the what's it called? The jungle kit? Are you getting a full jungle kit in splatter? Because that would be awesome. Like super awesome. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a brief commercial break for www.simmerwell.com because Carrie reminded me. But I wasn't planning on this, so I'm going to be off camera for just a moment, but you can still hear me because of my microphone. All right, folks. So Simmerwell is our freeze-dried bone broth brand. We also make freeze-dried meals, but our main thing is we make freeze-dried bone broth, and it is the best. So we now have, along with our individual servings, these packages here. This is 2.5 gallons worth of pasture-raised, pasture-finished broth from chicken or beef. The beef has our standard onion, carrot, celery, bay leaf, and pepper in it. No salt. Chicken has our standard pepper and coriander seed. Again, no salt. To go along with them, we have a fantastic, gotta open it up here. These are custom made clamshell canisters for your countertop. 1 tablespoon equals 8 ounces to 8 ounces of broth or water. So this holds this, but not only this, we also have this available in a patch that makes 5 gallons of broth. 1 cup at a time, 1 quart at a time, however you want to do it. Really nice to have on your countertop, in your cupboard for making broth. This holds the 5 gallon broth powder mix. So it's available in a kit on our website. I believe this is $129.99 for both of these. This is stainless steel. This is the broth. This is custom lasered in our office by my mom, who is cooler than cool. So you should get one of these. We got chicken as well. There we go. Fantastic. It's the best. So that's what we have going on right now. It's $175 for the 5 gallon. It is $129, I think, $130-ish for the 2.5 gallon. I should know this, but I didn't prep for this. It's all Carrie's fault. So, but Carrie's awesome. So That's what we have going on right now, brand new on our website. It's a pre-order right now that says expected to ship December 1st. But because my mom is such a badass, she already has the laser engraving done on a whole bunch of sets. So we're actually shipping out 5 sets today. So anyway, check that out, www.simmerwell.com. We also have meals available for pre-order. And now back to the show. So move this guy back over, plug this guy back in. Let's see. Still unplugged for the safety, guys. You just got to we got to rotate this. Got to rotate the paddles until they line up perfectly. So plug this guy back in now that we're safety certified. And I'm trying not to contaminate the cord with my hands, so we're trying to look. So anyway, Jose replied, no jungle kit, M4 set, Rallyman, TQ holder, belt, dump pouch, roll-up pouch, pistol pouches. He's making Rallymans and splatter print for you. That's fantastic. I'm going to have to order those. And I don't even have Rallymans in Typhon Toxic or Woodland. So, tactical gear. It's the best. It's awesome. So, move this guy out of the way. Welcome to my ADHD stream. All right, let's move this in. It's like hanging out with my friends, but while I'm working. Boom. So, Kiri, if you had to pick one, okay, Skylo, what's up, bro? Dude, comic relief. It's a good thing that's your job, man, because you're awful good at it. Back to Kiri. Kiri, if you were to pick one, would you want the chicken one or the beef one? So Sky, you know us, we be following the Torah. So following Leviticus 11, we are making breakfast sausage. And I'm adapting, well, I'm not adapting, I'm doing a trial run. When we used to be the pork eaters, we used to make our we used to make all our own pork sausage. So what I did, because they call pork the other white meat, I just am doing 80 pounds of store-bought chicken thighs from the chef store, ground it up. We're going to add the same exact seasoning to it. We already did one batch, but we're going to make breakfast sausage, see what all we need to tweak with the recipe. This is for our family use because Kiri just got all my pork. So, but yeah, so this is for us, but we're also trialing it out because in our freeze-dried meals that we're doing on the website, I want to have some breakfast options. So there we go. That's in 25 pounds. We're come back here. We're going to grab our other pre-measured seasoning. Turn this bad boy on. And we're just going to add it slowly. Okay. Now we're going to let that run for 3 or 4 minutes, start to incorporate, and then we're going to add the ice just like we did on the last batch. I'm going to ditch these gloves. Good thing gloves are cheap. Super cheap. Right now they are. I come over here and do a quick wash since I haven't in a while. Got some on my arms. Alrighty. What is my favorite variety of the freeze-dried meals? Stroganoff is a serious contender. I really like the Alfredo sauce that we made. Super simple, lots of cream, lots of Parmesan cheese. Yes, if you're a diehard of the what is that? Italian perspective, there's really no cream in that, but we don't have the fantastic ability of making it fresh in person, which requires pasta water. So this is what we do, and it's great. You know, the chicken wild rice stew is fantastic. That's a recipe that was given to me by our mutual friend Lamppost Collective. And then we adapted it for freeze drying by kind of grenading parts, because I found that we don't make anything like all at once and freeze dry it together like most home freeze dry users do. We take the recipe and we kind of break it apart. We cook the protein, we cook the main, we cook the starch, add it all back in at the end. It freeze dries better. It's a lot more consistent, and then you don't end up being the guy that gets 2 bites of chicken in your meal, like some of the other meals that are out there. So, yeah, boy, I'm really excited to see how this chicken marsala turns out too. That's going to be great. You're asking a fat kid what kind of cake he likes. Like all of it. I like all of it. I'm looking forward to getting them out in the wild and yeah, just kind of out there. But Kiri, didn't I give you some freeze-dried meals to try and report back on? Question mark. I thought I did. I hope I did. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you got the ones that were supposed to go with Chuck too, because Chuck didn't show up. So I know you did. So I don't typically put chunks like this in because they suck. They don't break down. So we're gonna go ice in so that we don't overheat. And it's not so much that it's gonna overheat while it's mixing. When it grinds, it gets pretty hot too. So that keeps that whole throat of the grinder fairly cool. And then if your bag of ice has, I'm gonna lose this. If your bag of ice has the really fine bits of crystalline in it, that works great too. So, I don't know, we're going to we'll add that much ice. Now, contaminated ice, guess where it goes? It goes in the sink. Because we don't want no cross-contamination. Well, your husband that put those in the preps you guys were supposed to try those. And then I was going to send you more that go in your preps in actual packaging that fits better than those stupid Harvest Right bags. I'm not a big fan. Okay. We might as well just go down like a side quest here because we're waiting for this anyway. If this gets too loud because this mic is too close, just let me know in the comments. So when you buy a Harvest Right freeze dryer or any of them, they come with bags. And they're not awful bags, but they're kind of awful bags. And so when I was getting ready to head on the road for 2 weeks at the end of last month, I had to drop a big delivery off of bulk freeze-dried meals, and then we ended up in Camden. So I didn't have the bags that I needed for the individual meals, and I wanted to send out some testers. So gloves are cheap. We might as well just strip these off. So the bags that come with the Harvest Right, they look like this. And they're just flat sealed all the way around. And they're economical, and that's perfectly fine. But the bags that we like to use are fluted at the bottom, so they stand. The other thing about them is they nest, and they fit way better. If you take the factory Harvest Right bags, you end up with thickness here, a little bit there, a little bit there. Also, you end up with, every once in a while, you don't get quite the cling suck like you do with these other ones. You see all the ripples in there. That is tight, just like another meal. So so what we're using for our freeze-dried meals is, come over here. These are the pouches that you want to store. They're fluted on the bottom. They do the same type of thing. They also open this way, so you don't have to have that super long fork. So Kiri, Glenn, eat those ones. Give me some feedback, and we'll send you proper ones. All right, back to the show. That's been mixing long-ish enough. Let that stop, and we're going to run it backwards. I love Glenn. I could totally see him doing that. All right. So I'm making sausage today. What's everybody else working on? Jose, are you home or are you on the road? It's so funny. I can see myself there and I can see myself there. And that's about 15 seconds behind. All right, we're calling that good. Now, before I do this bit, I'm going to walk over here to my storage and I'm going to grab this guy. Bang, 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 bang. You better be out there making money too, bro. Okay. So, unplugged. Pull this guy out. Never tried doing it like this before. Figured a live stream was a great time to do it. Well, dang. Well, that worked pretty good. So this is going to be a crumble sausage. It's not going to be a like a cased sausage because I don't have time for that. What are you hauling, Bang Bang? You got any hazmat on there? Don't be speeding if you do. Oh. Kiri says, you know, I'm really interested in that Bloody Mary mix you're working on, Kiri. I don't even drink Bloody Marys, but I'm really interested in that Bloody Mary mix. And I think you should make that Bloody Mary mix and put beef bacon in it. That's what you should do. Beef bacon's just awesome. And I'm not just saying that because I don't eat pork anymore. But beef bacon, if you do it right, is pretty awesome stuff. The only drawback to beef bacon is if you're trying to buy it, it's not as readily available. And it's also like freaking expensive because beef is not subsidized like pork is. If anybody's wondering, that's why pork is so cheap at the supermarket, because just like chicken, it's subsidized. Because you can't tell me there's not subsidies when Costco sells a fully cooked rotisserie chicken for $5. And I can't even hardly buy the chicken to raise for $5, let alone try to feed the dang thing. Okay, then this is just a matter of how much time do you want to take? How much is an acceptable loss? Did pretty good, I think. There's a little bit in there. You're never going to get all of it. What part of the cow does it come from? So, Sky, beef bacon can be made from two different things. A lot of places will make the beef bacon from brisket because it's readily available. I make beef brisket from the plate. Which is what is commonly referred to as the belly. So it's the side cut over the ribs as it comes down. It's the exact same cut as on a pork. And that's what's going to give you that nice marbling like regular bacon has, where the brisket, you can tell the brisket bacon really easily because it's got that same look. It's got a lot of meat with a little fat on the top, which is perfectly fine if you're not into, if you want it to be a little bit leaner. Brisket's not very lean, but doesn't have as much fat mixed in it. Jalapeno pineapple sausage. Sky, 8 Miles My Bride, man. That's Sarah, if you didn't know. I think you're being funny, but I just figured I'd throw that out there. Tell you what, the Father has blessed us richly with these walk-in coolers that we should not have. It is such an amazing thing that we were able to have these walk-ins. Never been to Detroit. It was on the wish list to have these walk-in coolers. So this is a 10 foot by 10 foot walk-in cooler. It's running at 39 degrees. And then right there, you can see this kind of line that covers the gap between. Then there's a 10 foot by 12 foot walk-in freezer. And it is Like, it is amazing, amazing to have. So, and I just got sidetracked. So, oh, we stuck these in the fridge so that they would stay cool because we're still ever presently worried about bacterial growth. Let's see. Jalapeno, pineapple, and sausage. I like jalapeno and pineapple and sausage. My digestional tract does not like it when I eat much stuff like jalapeno. Which is funny because I grew up in Northern Oregon in a town that was primarily Hispanic migrant workers. And it was just, we had like the best Mexican food around, kind of like SoCal. And I ate a lot of it then, but cannot eat it now. Dang it. Okay. Another glove change. Why? Because safety. Safety. Plug it in. So, beef bacon, made from the plate. You cure it just like pork bacon. It is, if you do a dry cure, it's 14 days in the fridge. Salt and pepper, celery salt, whatever you want to put on there. And you're going to just flip it every 12 hours. And you're going to coat that thing like I do steaks. You're going to put a super thick layer on there. And I like to vacuum pack it. And so you just flip it and then flip it and then flip it. And then after 14 days, you pull it out, you hang it on the forks, put it in your smoker and smoke it low and slow, 165, something like that. Now, pork bacon, when you smoke it like that, is actually shelf stable in that form until you cut it. I don't know about beef bacon. I just go ahead and slice it up and then put it in the freezer and make some fry some up while we're at it because you got to. But beef bacon's pretty awesome stuff, and I like it when you do it with the brisket because it doesn't flake apart like your cold brisket, like when it's been cooked at smoking temperatures. So I just added a little bit of chicken there. We didn't clean out the throat all the way when we started it, so I'm just going to take all of the stuff that just came out. We're going to plop it right up there. Add a little bit more. And we're not going to stick our fingers in the grinder. Okay, so now we're to the point where we have seasoned sausage coming out. So all of that's going to hang out up here. And what I'm going to do is as I grab and stick some of the mixed sausage in, I'm just going to grab like a golf ball, throw it in there too. That's going to be enough to incorporate it. I'm not, about the only aging I do with beef is I like the beef to hang for 14 to 21 days while it's right after it's done. I don't like the waste from the dry aging, and quite frankly, like a lot of people complain that like grass-fed beef is gamey. Grass-fed, grass-finished, a really nice cow. Hell, even not a horrible bull, and that's good enough for me. I'm not into that. Now I'll smoke it 7 ways till Sunday, and we'll turn it into all sorts of the best macaroni and cheese you ever had. But they'll mix some of that trim cut from the dry aged beef in with drying. But you really got to watch how much of that you eat because it's pretty bacteria laden. And like you get that little funk going on, and I'd rather taste nice fresh beef than funky. Like somebody forgot about that beef at first. our cows are only grass fed and they are not getting no. And really, it's how they're processed. Um, it's a lot of how they're processed. Are they super stressed? How old are they? What was their last hour of life like? When we process beef, the last one that we processed, I didn't have time. We were trying to finish our kitchen, and I didn't have time. I've got this walk-in freezer or walk-in kitchen that if we're not doing Simmerwell stuff, I can hang a beef in for 21 days. But I didn't have time to do it. So that one went to the processor. But other than that, like I do all my own processing. And if I don't, that thing gets a bullet to the brain in the pasture as it's eating some grain, That's about the only time they really get much grain, but they kind of enjoy that last little bit, and then they don't know anything. So that's my thoughts. And also grass-fed, but what kind of grass was it fed? Was it fed crappy grass? What's the nutritional content in it? There's protein and different concentrations in a lot of hay. Don't know if you knew that or not. That's why you send your hay out for analysis if you're going to sell it for really good money, because they want to know all of the composition of that. So we're getting a really nice smooth grind out of here. This part takes a little bit longer just because it's not that big corkscrew isn't grabbing big chunks of meat. It's all loose. So just helping it along. And now we've run through enough to where I've ran all of the unseasoned sausage through just bit by bit. Yeah. It's funny, you can tell when a big ice cube goes through because it kind of chews up a little bit. So, and if you've done this correctly, by now your hands are so frozen you can't feel anything. So we're just going to keep going. Let's see. Look at this fantastic goodness. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot this is a small bowl. So we're gonna try to get this guy loaded up here so I have bowl space. Now, I always find when I do this that I end up with a lot of ice that doesn't... I get a little carried away with the ice because one time the meat got really warm and we ended up throwing out about 20 pounds of pork. So, tactical foodies. So just to kind of show you, I've got, can you see that? There's about that much ice left in there. I'm just going to plop this into a different bowl. There we go. And it is plenty cold. Like, I like cold. This is definitely cold enough. So, shablam. Now we'll just work this in here. Tactical foodies. Kiri, you ought to put a link for that sauce that I sent you a message about the other day that I put on my rice there. That was fantastic stuff. I love that stuff. I think it was Blueberry Fields. Man, I made up some chicken thighs and I lightly seasoned them, but I did some white rice and I put that sauce of Kiri's on there the other night, and that was banging. That was like, it was great. Kiri here. Well, most of us know each other. But if you're here and you don't know who Kiri is, Kiri makes some of the best sauces that you can buy at Thunderhill Farms. But Kiri's also cooking right now. Hey, there we go. ThunderhillFarm.com for all your saucy needs. Let's see. All right, 25 pounds down. Now for the next one. Oh. Let's see. Used to show cows at the fair with FAA in Coquille, Oregon. What's the big city near that? Bang Bang. I was actually born in Oregon. I hail from Oregon. My mom and stepdad just moved to Montana from Oregon. From Oregon to Montana in my tiny house. Because you know what? If you want community, you bring them to you. So we're pretty darn blessed. Let's see. Coos Bay. Oh, yeah, Coos Bay. Nice area out there. I actually grew up skipping school on Fridays, and we would leave from Milton Freewater, which is about 20 miles north of Pendleton, and we would hightail it over to the beach with the four-wheelers, and we would just tear it up for the weekend. And it never failed. We got there, and we were always setting up in the pouring rain. Always, every time. You know, boy, it must be about 3.5 years ago now. We went to Tillamook to the Boy Scout camp there on the ocean, Fort Merriweather, Camp Merriweather, something like that. And we went to Medford to see my mom a day early, or not a day, but multiple days early. And my plan was to rent either a couple four-wheelers or a side-by-side and go tear up the dunes with my then 15-year-old, because I had so much fun with it. And I looked at it, and to rent a razor was over $1,000 a day. So we didn't do that because that was kind of ridiculous. I skipped more school than I was at. Like, this guy, no joke. There was a running policy where my mom actually just told the gal, the secretary for the school, that if I'm not there, just mark it excused and don't call me anymore. Because between cutting firewood, making money, like running volunteer fire calls, pretending I had a fire call, and just getting up and leaving class, yeah, I missed a lot of school. Hey, Chef. Good afternoon, Josh. How are you doing, sir? We're making chicken sausage. We're on the tail end. We don't eat pork anymore. So we got 80 pounds of chicken thighs from US Foods, and did a grind, and then I just mixed the chicken thighs, because pork's kind of the other white meat, straight with my pork sausage seasoning that I developed over the last 20 years. and we're going to see how it turns out. Welcome to Tactical Kitchen. So Bang Bang, my family has decided to start following Torah. So Leviticus 11, no pork, no shellfish. Not all of the Jewish bullshit that they do, like the no milk with meat type deal. But no pork, no shellfish. Only animals with fins that have scales. Yeah, Leviticus 11. So, and that's just a calling that we felt, through doing study of Scripture that, Christians, Christ died for your sins, but if you study, it's more like the doctrines and dogmas of men, and so not saved by following Leviticus stuff, but like just called to continue to do the works, which the works is called Torah. So a dude named Bear Independent has a great video about it if you're curious. And yeah, so that's why no pork. Also, side note, my entire life I have eaten a lot of pork. And every time I do, it gives me gastrointestinal distress. So like the cutting out pork thing was not like a deal breaker for us. Also, we live in Montana. Have you seen the seafood that you get in Montana? It's horrendous. So yeah, that's that. Kiri, the moderator of our tactical kitchen chat, there, she has possession of the last two of my pigs that we raised. Okay, funny story. I left Montana with a 7-quart freezer, like the little Walmart style one, filled with pork. We don't eat pork anymore. Kiri's like the best ever, so we rehomed it to her. If you eat pork, Kiri makes fantastic things out of pork that I don't eat anymore. But so I left with that, and then I left with an XL freeze dryer, Harvest Right freeze dryer, that decided it was going to lose its refrigeration system on me. So both of those in the back of my Suburban, plus 900 meals for Grindstone Ministries for their volunteers. When they show up, they can have food that's easy to heat up and feed them as they're coming in before they have their fob established. So we did that, and bacon jam is too good for me to. So Bang Bang, side note, Kiri is going to start working on bacon jam that is made with beef when she has all the free time, because I asked her to figure out how to do it for me. So to be determined if she ever brings that to your market. But yeah. So anyway, my Suburban was literally stuffed to the rafters. I had all my gear that I travel with is in medium and large SOE clothes bags, and I was literally jamming it into the 3 or 4 inches between the headrest and the top of things to drive down to Oklahoma and then drive over to SOE. So we have this fantastic chicken sausage now, just like this. What we're going to do is take the throat apart, and then I'm going to start. We're live. We might as well just keep going. It's made. It's done. I'm not even going to test fire any of this because I don't want to go through the mess of trying to re-season if I don't like it. So it is what it is, and that's okay because my teenage boys are bottomless pit. So we're just going to go ahead and vacuum pack this in the chamber vac, and then kind of go from there. So I'll pre-order 100 jars. There you go, Kiri. 100 jars to the sky low if you do the beef bacon. So, and we can work on. I could probably make the bacon and ship it to you to turn it into freeze-dried bacon, but we can discuss that. Or freeze-dried bacon. ADD zing. So I'm going to grab a scale and move this off to the side. And my wonderful assistant has already started doing the dishes because my stepdad, he's my stepdad. He's not my dad, but he's also my dad. One of those people. Yeah. Sky, you're going to have something interesting to say about that. I know you are because I know you. So my stepdad, who so graciously like just does all of the grunt work here, so that I can focus on other things. Not because I asked him to, just because that's how badass he is. He's already started doing the dishes, so I can start packaging and we can move on from there. So still has power. I just undid that because if you take and you just pump this guy just like that, look, this throat comes out. Now, safety fourth pops out right there. So there's a little bit of bacon. Man, I want bacon now. We got to stop talking about bacon. So there's a little bit of chickeny goodness in here. Not a whole lot. The fantastic thing about this is there's a seal right here on this. So this has nothing on it. And yes, this stuff only got ground once, but I don't care. Just like this live stream, we're not going to let perfect be the enemy of good. Scoop this out right here. Undo this guy. In here. That guy as well. Take this guy. We're going to move it to this other stainless table I have. Because there's no shortage of flat surfaces. Now, this stuff here, I should have just used a towel to pick that up. I'm going to throw this in the trash. This surface was sanitized, but oh well. So, is there any Torah reason to avoid corned beef? I don't think so, Kiri. I think corned beef should be good to go. As far as I know, now I'm still new. I'm not the expert. No, because Jewish people don't. Corned beef, isn't that like pastrami? And isn't that what Katz Deli, who's owned by all the Jewish people, like makes the big sandwiches in New York? Isn't that corned beef? Or the same thing as pastrami? I don't know. It's beef, we're good. So the big thing that we're going off of is we're doing the best we can with what we've got. And we're not going to spend all of our time worrying about the semantics because, and we're just like sidelining into a conversation that is about the Father here. The way we operate is we're doing the best we can with what we can. Christ died for sins. His blood washes away sins. We're still called to do works. If we should screw up and not do it accidentally, and we do it accidentally, not the end of the world. Now, should we sin so that grace may abound? Yah forbid. But that's going to be the last tangent I do on that. So I'm going to say corned beef, pastrami, all those things, good to go. Now, we have a bit of a mess here. So quicksand sanitizer. This is a pre-mixed sanitizer solution for food service. And yes, I'm spraying it next to that. It's mine. It's not for sale. Oh, and speaking of things with beef, Fabuloso. Oh, it's not oh so fabuloso. No. This is a quaternary sanitizer solution that's approved by not only the health department, but the USDA, that we buy in pre-mixed for sanitizing and cleaning countertops and stuff. Well, and really all things in a spray and go kind of situation. So this is what I know to be the right way to do it. And if I know it's the right way to do it, then that's the way we're going to do it. So really what I should probably do is I should spray it and let it air dry. I'm not doing that right now. Okay. Off camera again, because the perfect is not the enemy of the good. This is my awesome little scale. It's very expensive scale. I bought it for Sarah to do baking with. I don't think she's done any baking with it because I stole it. So let's see. We're going to move this out of our way. Perfect. All right. So tell me what your preferred method of freezer preservation is. Mine is a chamber vac. I had a food sealer years and years ago. The bags are just so stupid expensive, and the damn thing's super loud and takes forever. Chamber vac's not much faster than that, but Jack Spirko, the Survival Podcast, everybody in here knows who Jack is. He did a Vevor review a few years ago, and I really liked their chamber vac, so we bought one, and we have used the living tar out of it. So the way we do this is I get just off camera the whole time today. Random container. Set our scale to ounces. Tear that thing out. Actually, I want to move that back a little bit. So ounces, zeroed, good to go. Now, these hold about, I want to say they hold just shy of 2 pounds. These I know hold 3 pounds. I don't really want to go 3 pounds. Oh, you know what? We have more bags. Thank you, Amazon. Now, what's that word? Somebody tell me what this says. What the hell kind of name is that? That's Korean for cheap on Amazon, I guess. All right, so we're going to do about 1.5 pound packages. We have about 60 pounds. What's that, 40 of them? So I like to flip them inside out like this. It gives you about that much, which is your sealing space that's going to stay clean. Plus you can have one clean hand, have a dirty hand, get it in there. And then when you're done with it, you pull off your gloves, you just flip it all up. So I'm going to spend the next several minutes flipping these over. Because why wouldn't you do this before you started the live stream? Actually, I was surprised it had enough forethought to like text Kiri and be like, hey, I'm going live, and then actually make a post on my Facebook. That's IKEA-ness. Oh. Sorry to the Netherlands? Where the heck is IKEA from? Tell you what, though. In our bedroom, we have a Fleur Turgenoff for a dresser. That's like a little cube thing, but there's like 4 and 4. Jose sent the link. Man, Jose, you're awesome, bro. So did you guys, Sky, did you guys do those, any of those Peking ducks yet? Sweden, the Swiss, the land of the cheese and the mountains. Yodel. Sky, I don't think I showed you this, so we're going to do a commercial break for double.simmerwell.com again, just in case you are here now and you missed it. These are our new canisters. There's the beef. There's the chicken. They go with these 2 products right here. And I dropped it. This is our Simmerwell freeze-dried bone broth in bulk packaging. This makes 2.5 gallons of bone broth. Chicken, coriander seed, pepper, no salt in here because it's meant for cooking. You can totally use this for your sipping broth as you go, no problem. This is our regular beef. It has onion, celery, carrot, bay leaf, and pepper in it as well. Again, no salt. We don't want to mess up your recipe by adding too much salt to it because you don't know our ratio. We don't know your ratio. So this guy fits in here. This 2.5 gallon one will fill it about halfway once it settles out. We also have this in a 5 gallon bucket of broth, guys. Pasture raised, pasture finished, all the great things. That's what this container is for. So 2.5 gallons of broth with the container on the website, $129, I believe. The 5 gallon kit is $175, a little bit cheaper because you're buying more volume. And then we sell the refill kits as well. So if you don't want the tin, you can buy just the packets. This is $79. The 5 gallon one is $125. This fits perfectly in a mason jar. The 5 gallon does not because it's about 5 cups worth of product. So you don't have to think about anything. Right here, reconstitution ratio, 1 tablespoon per 8 ounces of water. And then you can adjust them down, up and down as you go. So Simmerwell.com, Kiri through the link. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We're going to get back to packaging. Shilling. Do I have layaway? I do not have layaway. I don't even think we're set up to have that like Klarna or anything on our website because, yeah, that sounds like every time I see those, I think of that dude that messaged John that was complaining about a belt that he bought with his 4 payments on Klarna, and yeah. So no layaway, but these are standard available stuff. The tins we procured a bunch of, and my mom lasered those right in my office, like 20 feet that way. She's got a cool laser, so she's doing all the laser work, which means we can do custom. I don't even know how we're going to do this. I probably shouldn't even open this up, but we can do custom like To Granny Love John, or like if you want a badass AR-15 on it, or whatever. So, but yeah, we had quite a few folks kind of hint about it, and then really what happened was Lamppost like beat me over the head with it. She's like, "Listen, I know you don't want to do this. You like your individual packets. I want this though." So I actually did the 2.5 gallon setup for her, and just did it in vacuum sealed mason jars. But you got to be careful with it, especially if you're in high humidity. You open it, you pull some out, you put it in your pot. You don't open the freeze dried product over the hot pot of water with the moisture. You also don't leave the lid off for a couple hours at a time. Yeah, so we have those. Also, have not added it to the website yet, but we're gonna make it to where you can order just the tins, because some folks have already ordered the refill kits, just in case they want the tin as well. So yeah, super excited about that. The things that you fight the most, right? So Sky says they're processed them next week. Gonna eat them next week. Gotcha. That's one thing I've never really messed with. I've always wanted to try Peking duck, but yeah. So, and I haven't been counting these. We're probably just going to start filling some of these and then see where we're sitting, because what always happens is I'm like, okay, we start with the smallest packages and we start making bigger packages as we go. And by the time we're done, I'm just shoving whatever I can fit in there. And I'm like, we'll just use it over a couple days. No big deal. So, sip. All right. Let's grab squeeze by here. From our years of catering very large events, we have a lot of pots and pans and such. This is a liner for a steam pan that you put an actual steam pan in. So this is for a chafing dish. They work really well, especially if you just wad a napkin up underneath there for laying stuff up against. So now, let's see. 1.5 pounds, if I did my math right, 1.5 pounds should be 24 ounces. Is that right? The 24 ounces? 16 plus 8, 24. Okay. So wow. Okay, I lied. We're not doing 1.5 pound packages. We're doing 2 pound packages because that just doesn't look like enough. So that should be 32 ounces. And I don't know how dry this is going to be, if it's going to be wet enough to like have enough fat in it. I'm hoping, being thighs, that we don't have, a fat issue on cooking, but we'll see. Again, it's a test batch. We have oils and all sorts of stuff. So Man. Oh no. I just got the dreaded low battery. So I got this awesome mic, which helps with the audio quality. But when I use the mic, I can't use one of those splitters on my phone to use the microphone and charge it at the same time. And I got an iPhone 10, which doesn't have the magnetic charging on the back of it. So I guess we'll just go till the battery runs out. So our facility, our kitchen is in a industrial park that's brand new. We were actually the first. Okay, we were the second tenants in the industrial park. So it's basically like a big red metal building, red steel, that's portioned into 4 different units that are 1,800 square feet apiece. And we've got an office and a bathroom and stuff. And we did all the work over the last year and a half to hang the FRP, do the drop ceiling, all of the stuff. So that now we're licensed and can operate out of here. But they built 3 buildings on 200 acres so far, and they're working on the next 3 buildings behind us, and they're doing earthwork right now. So they're shake everything. Because I don't know how big that roller is they got out there, but it's pretty big. Let's see. Oh. All right. I think I lied. We're going to go ahead and end the stream here. Appreciate everybody being on here. It was great hanging out. I'm sure most of you, I will see you this evening on the SOE live stream, where we all like to hang out in the afternoons. So I love this shirt so much, Mystery Machine Action. So anyway, AJ@simmerwell.com is how you can contact me if you have any questions about any of our food. Again, these are available on the website if you're interested. We also have our sample packs of our individual broth, and then meals, either individual or family 4-packs that don't have the starches added to them, are available for pre-order on our website. www.simmerwell.com. SIMMERWELL.com. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks, Kiri, for the links, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.